Yeah, this is a really weird team to analyze. It's probably great for us as people who cover the team because no one has any idea what to think. We've always been process over results, as I think most film guys are, but I think some people can get too processy over results. At the end of the day, the Eagles are winning, so we should all be very happy because we're 4-0, but it doesn't feel very happy online. Like I had a comment on my Bleeding Green article, a very nice comment, like perfectly well laid out, just saying it's sort of mental that the tone of this article is quite negative when we're 4-0. And I was like, and he replied saying it, and I was like, to be fair, we had 200 yards on 58 plays at 3.4 yards per play with 7 punts. Like, I can only watch what I can watch, and it's very hard to speak particularly positively about the offense. But God, I started ranting already. I didn't even ask the nice introduction of how you are. I just straight went in moaning about the offense. But yes, I am good. The grind is real. For anyone that covers the NFL know this is about the time when you forget how busy you are. But yeah, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Super busy at the day job right now as well. So sneaking out for an extended lunch break to record this and then back to it.
Dedication.
Yeah, it's all good fun. I also want to shout out our Patreon. We have rebranded the Patreon since last week. So nothing changed except the name and the logo. But if you enjoy our content here, this is scratching the surface of everything we do on Patreon, and that is found now at patreon.com/Eagles Film Room. Eric put out over an hour-long player spotlight video on Keely Ringo, breaking down every snap he played. I've got my past game review up. Jonny is going to be working on a preview for next week, and there's so much great content on the Patreon. The Discord is awesome. We've had lots of conversations in there. So if you're looking for a way to support our work, get more content like this, we have a $3, $5, and $7 a month tier with various benefits, and you can get a free 1-week trial of any of them. So come hang out with us. And this podcast is just kind of scratching the surface of a lot more things we really talk about over in the Discord and on the Patreon.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet this actually, but for those that are listening and those that do, I was going to tweet these numbers, but we obviously offer a free trial that people could use. We've had a 94%, I think, the last month conversion rate between people joining for free and then sticking around, which is amazing. So I think it's awesome, and I'm biased because obviously I am a third of the Patreon, but even the stuff that I'm not on, like Eric's stuff, your stuff, the past game review, the player spotlight is wicked. So I think the preview stuff's going to get better as we get used to it. I think the player spotlight always has been good. Like, yeah, seriously, come and join if you can, because you are right. This is only an hour show, so we are scratching the surface. But shall we just do the depressing stuff first again?
Let's do it.
Scratch the surface of the offense, Shane?
Oh, man. I'm so tired of talking about this offense already.
Yeah.
Let me lead us off here with my first point. And I'm going to do something abnormal here. I'm going to rant for a little while before I show the film clips that go with it. So first of all, I charted out a bunch of stuff. I tweeted it out earlier today, but a few things I want to hit on in terms of predictability. First of all, the Eagles' offense is predictable because there's a significant indicator of run or pass based off of the quarterback alignment. So I talked about this after week 2. It still exists. When the Eagles are in pistol, they only call a pass play 21% of the time. From under center, they call a pass play 20% of the time. And that's if we're calling the Dallas Goedert thing touchdown a pass, which it was kind of close. And then from shotgun, they're passing 72% of the time. And so overall, their pass rate is 58.5%, and they're not even close to their average from any QB alignment. So the first thing is, you're really predictable what you're going to do based on QB alignment. Secondly, the routes that they run are predictable, and I'll show that. I've got several examples of the Bucs just knowing exactly what the Eagles were doing and running in the routes for receivers. But when you do pass, it's predictable based on alignment. And then this is out of the realm of predictability a little bit, but third, I broke down the Eagles' EPA per attempt, success rate, and total attempts rushing the ball by running backs, broken down by personnel and scheme. So it throws out tush pushes, it throws out QB design runs and scrambles, just looking at called run plays for the running back. Basically, they should throw 13 personnel in the garbage and literally never call a play from it again, because they lose over a half a point every time they call a run play from 13 personnel, negative 0.56 EPA. Then you look at 11 and 12 personnel. They are much better when they run a gap scheme from 11 and 12 personnel, positive EPA, 57% success rate running gap scheme from 11 personnel, but they just run it very infrequently. Only 15% of their overall runs are gap scheme out of 11 and 12 personnel. And that photo where I screenshotted it is up on my Twitter, and you can go check that out if you want to. So the run game needs to be designed better. The pass game needs to be designed better. I don't have a graphic for this one that I put out on Twitter, but I went and looked at the Eagles' passing attack. When you remove passes over 20 air yards and you remove slant routes, the Eagles' offense ranks 23 in EPA per pass attempt, 27th in success rate, and 32nd in boom rate, which is the percentage of plays that generate more than 1 EPA. If you include those 20% passes, everything stays the same except the success rate goes from 27th to 25th. So basically the only thing that works in the pass game right now is throwing slant routes when teams blitz. And teams are going to stop blitzing, which sounds wild to say after 2023 when we were like, teams only blitz us. They're going to stop blitzing now. And then, by the way, the offensive line, here's some rankings of theirs. They are 25th in yards per contact, or yards before contact per carry, 27th in run stuff rate, 22nd in run block win rate, 24th in pressure rate allowed, and 26th in pass block win rate. If you remove Saquon Barkley's fake tush-push touchdown in this game, he had 18 carries for negative 5 yards before contact. Like, that's insane. The Eagles lead the league in 3-and-out percentage. The only 3 teams even close to them are the Vikings and Bengals, who are playing backup quarterbacks, and the Titans, who won 3 games last year and are playing a rookie quarterback. So it all stinks. The pass game is predictable, both by QB alignment, formation, and routes you're running. The run game is calling the worst possible run scheme at all times, and the offensive line just isn't very good right now. And so I'll dive into it and show a few examples of what I was talking about with the predictability, because we are a film show. So I'll throw this up here, but let's look at a few of these plays, and I'll be more positive after this, but I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. I'm going to tell you what's going on. So this play, the Eagles are condensed and the Bucs show man coverage. Jonny, what are the Eagles going to run if you show them man coverage while they're in a condensed set?
Sorry, I was too busy staring at something else I was going to bring up, actually.
Oh.
That was bad by me.
You're
I was
good.
getting a lovely quote to read out, Shane, that sums this up perfectly.
You're good. Let me ask again. Condensed set, defense is showing man coverage. What pass concept are the Eagles going to run?
Oh, it's either going to be crash, or they might run a couple of goes and they'll half jog it. What one do they run here? What play is this? Second quarter.
This is mesh, and
or mesh cross.
Yeah,
but it's man coverage, Shane. They like running mesh against zone. Running
they do.
Against man would be sensible. That's why you've confused me, because they prefer mesh against zone these days. They like mesh crosser.
Right.
And no one's free ever, and we sound like Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner hates mesh more than anyone on the planet.
So watch the Eagles. Or watch the Bucs. This is man coverage, but watch how they play the mesh in the middle of the field, because they know it's coming. Like, we're just fully switching this off from the beginning, because we know beyond the shadow of a doubt this is going to be mesh. Now, Hurts is able to scramble. You can't live like that, but you're just predictable. Now let me ask you another one, Jonny. We go 2x2, and we've got Devontae Smith in the slot.
Or it's going to be mesh again, or it's going to be crash. What one's this one?
Oh, this is going to be a slot out to Devontae Smith.
Yep.
And just watch this guy, this slot corner, just run this route for Devontae Smith. Like, just knows it's coming.
Shane, just really quickly, go back as well. Just watch AJ Brown run a really, really, really high effort go route. It's all over the film, man. Not just from him. I'm not picking on him. It's not AJ. It's not as much AJ as people think. It's everyone.
Yeah. Now we're gonna motion from 3x1 into 2x2, which means that we're not even looking at this motion route because we don't do that, but we are going to throw a slot route to the bottom of the screen, a slot out again, and look how we're just sitting on this because we know. No chance. And then let's keep going. This one's my favorite. The Eagles are going to run dagger here. And I just want you to watch how this corner, who has no help over the top, plays A.J. Brown. He lets A.J. Brown get on top of him. And he just gets underneath and waits on this route to break in because he knows this is going to be dagger. They're going to throw a dig. And so there's multiple instances in this game of the Buccaneers just running the routes for the Eagles because it is entirely predictable exactly what they're going to do based on formation, wide receiver alignment, and down and distance.
Yeah, the quote I was trying to find was there's an unbelievably good read today from Ollie Connolly, my favourite writer on the planet. Nothing to do with Eagles. It was actually about the Falcons offense. And he gives a lovely little plug at the start as well when he casually says that Zach Robinson is a subscriber. So hi, Zach. That's got to be cool when you're writing a piece about a coach that you know subscribes to your own Substack.
That's crazy.
But I want to read. It's cool, isn't it? He writes, and the reason why I like him is not because he's probably the smartest guy I know, but because he writes as well as anyone. So I'm going to cheat and I'm just going to read his quote because this is not about the Eagles offense, all right? This is not about the Eagles offense, but he writes so well. And when I read it, it clicked with me. I was reading this from a Falcons point of view, but there were so many things that I could apply to the Eagles. And this is what he said. He said, great offenses give you that feeling of a ball rolling down a hill. They gather pace as they go. Everything is tied together. Plays a sequence, there's a rhythm. They stack play upon play, leaving you chasing ghosts. And then he says, so far the Falcons are at their best in a 2-minute drill. That's when the rhythm arrives because it's forced to. For the most part, they've been staccato. Plays pop here and there, but that's thanks to the individual talent of players rather than the design. And he's talking about Zach Robinson being wedded to an ideology that's not working with the Falcons right now. And I didn't listen, I read, and I thought, that's the Eagles. It's not plays being stacked upon play. It's uneven. He described it as a dunk and a 3-point side. That's what we are. We're staccato. We are individual talent of players rather than design. It's not an efficient offense. The run game doesn't match the pass game. They're running so much zone, right? A lot of outside zone this year. So you think, oh, they must be running a bunch of play action bootleg. Nope, they're not doing that. So why are they running outside? And the run game is the thing that perplexes more than anything. And I'm struggling, Shane, to be honest, this week's pod. I'll be fully honest with the listeners because I don't know how much to say that I've said before. Yep. I don't really know how much we can repeat. I don't know what the answer is. As you've said, it's fundamentally obvious that coaches know a hell of a lot and they know a hell of a lot more than us. But it's also very obvious based on basically every bit of data they are not very good on offense. They lead the league in 3 and outs, for Christ's sake. Like, it is not a good offense. And there are so many reasons why. I don't think it's individuals. I don't think it's Hurts. I don't think it's A.J. Brown. I think there is so many things that go into it. Yet, they're 18-0 in Jalen Hurts' last 18 starts. Like, you can tell me the defense is great, and that's fine. It's really hard to win in the NFL. Win 18 on the trot as a starting QB, I feel like is almost impossible. Like, how many teams have done that over history? I can't imagine many in the past 10, 15 years. It is really, really depressing and really odd. But the way I would describe it is basically like Ollie does. There's no rhythm to the offense. There's no flow. They don't know what they want to be. They haven't decided what their identity is. If I ask you, Shane, are the Eagles a run-first or a pass-first offense? What would you tell me?
I have no idea.
Yeah, last year they were a run-first offense. Whatever you want to say, the passing game was built off the run game. They were an RPO, run the ball, very shotgun heavy, so you can throw quick backside slants, bubbles, screens, etc. When they go single high, you chuck it deep, you chuck it vertical. But I still maintain, and people get annoyed when I say this, I think the running game is a bigger problem than the passing game. And my theory is the Eagles' pass game can be incredibly simplistic because when you see single high, they will throw. The Eagles are not getting single high man coverage this year because teams are stopping the run from a 2-high shell. And teams are just playing a ton of zone. And I still think we should be a run-first offense. And I think if you run the ball really, really well, I think you will make play action easier. I think you can then start tying your run game to your pass game. I personally think this Eagles team is built to be a run-first offense. The problem is the offensive line is playing bad. But to defend the offensive line, they're not running many interesting run concepts either. Teams know what they're running as well in the run game. So it's hard for an offensive lineman when you're under center and it's obvious they're running inside zone or outside zone. Yes, the offensive linemen don't look good, but if we're talking about a quarterback, we say the scheme can make a quarterback look bad. With offensive line, we just assume that they're offensive linemen. Therefore, it's nothing to do with the scheme, and that's nonsense. It could be the angles you're taking. It could be that the player is a split second quicker off the ball because he knows what you're running. It could be that your alignment means that the box is really condensed, which means that you can't really get a clean run at the second level. Like, there are so many things. I still maintain we're a run-first offense first, but they don't play like it. We're probably going to spend like the whole time on offense talking about this one thing, but I sort of promise the other ones don't matter very much because I could do my other points in like 3 minutes. This is almost just like the rant at the start, but I'm fed up because it's boring at times watching us on offense. And what I'm really fed up about is that the team is so talented. We're not the Panthers. We're not trying to make like a top 16 offense out of top 25 talent. We are extremely talented. AJ Brown is obviously not playing very well. He looks fed up to me. Devontae Smith's awesome. The funny thing is I think Jalen Hurts is having his best year, which is bizarre because the numbers are awful. They were just so... And someone commented saying about Patullo had some nice wrinkles. He did. There is some stuff they do. I think, basically, what Ollie said about talent wins out, to me, I bet there's a really smart young coach planning stuff in the red zone. And they almost feel like they've said to him, be creative. We're in the red zone now. Do something radical. Do something random. But when we're 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line on our own 30 or whatever, we're going to keep it safe now. Because we know that no turnovers means we win. And they've been proven true. Brett Eclipse has just asked a really good question about the run game. So I'll do my first point, Shane, just really quickly now. And I'm going to be very quick. The first thing is it's blocked. What do you want me to say? It's blocked terribly. The tight ends can't block. They consistently use tight ends who can't block. They consistently use condensed formations. And they have no space to run. I do not give Saquon Barkley, Shane, a percentage of blame. I genuinely don't. I can only say what I see on film. I don't even think it's like 2% him. I think he has absolutely nothing to do with him.
He slipped a few times in this game, which happens, but he had some explosive. He had some explosive cuts in this game. He is not moving worse than last year.
He looks completely fine. So you've got some of the numbers on this. They run better from 11 personnel, but they don't run as often from 11 personnel as they should. They run really poorly from like 13 personnel, and they keep doing it. And they're terrible from under center. Basically, to answer Brett Eclipse, the fun run game stuff is gone. You have not seen a single snap of tackle trap this year, or whatever the Eagles called it. I should know. I used to say, what do the Eagles call tackle trap? It's going to annoy me.
I don't.
They used to run it all the time last year. I'll find out what it's called because it would annoy me if I can't think about it. You don't see any trap. You don't see any wham. You don't see barely any counter. We saw a little bit this year. You don't see any QB counter bash in the slightest. The run game is really basic. Their alignments are basic. Their angles are really tough to block. They're trying to use like funky motions from tight ends to come across the formation. They did it again in this game with Grant Calcaterra. He did the same as Darius Cooper last week, where he runs across the field and then tries to get back up, and it doesn't work. Just show play 2 really quickly, Shane, on my film thread. I just watched this play, and I was like, oh, yeah, the Eagles can still run counter. This is GT counter. Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata look great. And I was like, why are we not seeing more gap scheme? And obviously the coaches know more than me, so I don't know. But that is the best run block the best run blocked play of the game by a distance to me. And it's gap scheme. And guess what, Shane? AJ Dillon, 3 carries in this game. Guess what every single one was?
Gap scheme.
Gap scheme, every single one was counter. I'm hardly saying he was great, but 3 carries, 17 yards. Over 5 yards a carry. Compared to Saquon Barkley, who was, I think, once again around 2.3 yards per carry. So I don't understand the offense. I don't really understand the run game. I think we can sit here and say they're being conservative, they're being passive. That impacts the passing game. But, I mean, you haven't got to worry about throwing interceptions on the run game. Just run some different stuff. I'm a little bit at a loss. Because Stoutland calls it, and it's just not the running game that we saw last year. And people can moan about the pass game, and you've already done a good job moaning about it. I will probably maintain until Jalen Hurts isn't the Eagles quarterback anymore that they're a run-first offense, because I think that's how they've been built since he's been their quarterback. And if you can't run the ball, there are so many easy buttons that you can't press on offense. I really don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
Well, let me go to my second point then. And I'm going to acknowledge something up front, and that's that my second point is about John Mechie, a guy who only played 5 offensive snaps, but
Some creativity.
I'm trying to just talk. I'm trying to just have a
Yeah.
point that isn't complaining about the offense. And
You
three
know
of
my red
his
zone point though, Shane? Does it not feel like it's almost like, we need to do something creative with Mechie, so therefore we'll come up with something creative. But when it's just standard 12 personnel, it's like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. We don't need anything creative because we're too good. It's almost like red zone, Mechie, AJ Dillon. It's like, these guys aren't the superstar, so let's do something interesting. It's just weird, isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah. Don't rain on the parade of my non-negative point. Yeah.
Sorry.
He only played 5 snaps, but I wanted to do something I haven't just said over and over and that wasn't complaining. And so 3 of his 5 snaps, he aligned in the backfield of pistol. And so maybe they'll build something out of this. 2 of the snaps, this first one, he blocks through the C gap, which is something I talked about with Puka Nacua last week. He goes through the C gap and blocks. He does it on the 3rd snap as well. So maybe you can set up something where he's going through the C gap on play action and he runs a route. I don't know. And then they brought back this RPO scrape play, and it's going to be Mechie coming out to the flat. And, they're reading. I broke this one down on my pass game review, but they're going to read the defensive end here. If he comes underneath Mechie, then you're going to pull the ball and you can throw it to Mechie in the flat. If he goes around Mechie, you're going to hand the ball off, right? And I like this. This is a cool play. If you watch Devontae Smith, the problem here is he just halfway jogs out his route, so doesn't take his guy vertically and gets Mechie obliterated, which is the whole effort thing again. It's not just Devontae Smith, but so they use him on this slide route here on the RPO. And then on another snap in the game, they go pistol again. He's aligned in the backfield, and he's going to release through the C gap and block. And this run doesn't go anywhere because Landon Dickerson whiffs. It's not Mechie. It was Dickerson that whiffed there. But I don't know. Thought it was interesting. 5 snaps. 3 of them he's in the backfield and pistol.
Yeah.
Releasing through the C gap, which I like. That RPO scrape that I like. Maybe they'll build something out of that. I don't know. It was
cool. It was cool.
It's something I hadn't seen, and I wanted to talk about something I hadn't seen.
And Shane, do you know why the pass was so open? Because it was tied to a successful run. Mm-hmm. Like one of Saquon's only successful runs of the game was Mechie in the backfield. So what did the defense do? They saw Mechie in the backfield. What did they think? Could be a run. You sneak him out into the flat. Like, it's where I keep going back to the run game, because that's where you can build sequencing. That's where you can I just think you could do so much with your pass game off of your run game. That doesn't mean it has to be your only way you do things. Like, I can't believe we've stopped just running RPO slants to AJ Brown. Like, that's really weird as well. Just like, but anyway, I'm going to stop moaning because
we have a comment here from
forever.
Have a comment here from Caleb that says they're 4-0 and trying stuff. They're good to the point they're pretty much experimenting. They're not.
Yeah,
though.
They're
not experimenting. They're running inside zone and they're running 3 passing concepts on repeat that's not working. Like, experimenting would be trying to add new things into the offense, trying to attack the middle of the field more, trying a more fleshed out passing attack. That they're not experimenting. It looks like a preseason game. The offense looks like preseason football where we run inside zone and 3 pass concepts. So
I'll be honest. No disrespect, Caleb, but it feels like the opposite of experimenting.
Yeah,
I like some experimenting. It feels like incredibly conservative. And the thing is, I don't want to keep talking about this, Shane. They think if they don't turn the ball over, they will win, and they are correct. I sound really negative on this from a design point of view. The Eagles are 4-0, and I think they know what they're doing. I think Sirianni might be a master at winning football games. Scheme nerds hate it. QB ranking guys hate it. Offense guys hate it. But I think it is not a fluke, the amount of games they win. All right, they blocked a field goal with Jordan Davis. They should be 3-1. That is a bit fluky to an extent.
They blocked a punt for a touchdown in this game, and they got a tipped interception in the end zone and won by a touchdown. Like, it's fluky.
It feels like it's a little bit unsustainable. Let's talk about some good things very quickly, because we need to get onto the defense, because I'll be honest, we could just repeat half of the stuff from last week, couldn't we? Like,
Yeah.
we've said this before. So let's talk about Jalen Hurts versus the blitz. I'm not going to go into great detail because once again, this is a theme we've seen this year. But you were bang on. I think Todd, what's his name? The Bucs coach, Todd Bowles, basically openly admitted this as well, that they stopped blitzing and they had success. And some of their players came out and said the same thing. They realized that blitzing wasn't work. So just play one on my film thread. On the first drive, the Bucs sent multiple blitzes at Hurts, and basically every single time, Hurts handled it easy. And I think it's just worth remembering. Just go back in time a bit. I remember watching Jalen Hurts versus the Bucs a few years ago in the playoffs, as many of you do, and it was absolutely brutal. Like, he could not handle the blitz in the slightest, and you can blame the coaches. The scheme was poor. Remember, they were down like 31-0 or whatever in the playoffs in that year. They couldn't handle the blitz in the slightest. And Todd Bowles came out and thought, same Jalen Hurts, let's go, let's blitz him. And they had nothing. They had nothing. Sorry, Shad, I actually didn't tweet as many clips. If you go back to play one, just really quickly, the one thing I wanted to say was this is multiple weeks we've seen this now, a free rusher, and just watch how calm Hurts is in the pocket. That play looks really easy, right? And I think it's easy for us as fans to sit there and go, it's a slant against pressure. But look how calm he is with a linebacker running directly at him. That is a level of maturity that we have not seen from Hurts in previous years. So that is a major, major positive. I think they're playing against the blitz. In a weird way, you were right. I want more teams to blitz us now.
Yeah.
I just don't want anyone to play split safety zone coverage. By the way, do you know what's really funny, Shane? Is genuinely, I think next week, if the Eagles' next 3 opponents play loads of single high man coverage, I think the passing game will be fixed. And everyone will go, oh my God, they fixed it. And I just think they won't have. I think that basically, I'd love to play. It'd be great if we played the Browns now, because the Browns have got like the best defense in the league, arguably, but they also play Jim Schwartz style. And I think the Eagles might have a lot of success against them because they can beat that. They can win by throwing vertical balls to AJ Brown. But if you just play zone coverage and rush 4, they don't run any great zone beating concepts. So it's really, really hard for them to succeed. But there we go. We need to get through these points, Shane, because the defense deserves more of our love. So get through your last one quickly, and I'm going to get through mine quickly because I want to give the defense some pop. This offense doesn't deserve half the podcast.
Yeah. The offense in this game just had really poor timing of when to push the ball downfield. And so if we watch this play, I'm just going to go through 4 different plays here. The Eagles are going to run. They've got a tight end coming on a drag route and AJ Brown on a vertical route. And those are the only 2 routes. And so just watch the safety. There is no other vertical route. And so he gets over the top of AJ Brown. And AJ Brown stops running. I think he thinks we're going back shoulder. If we throw this, it's got to be back shoulder because there's a safety over the top. But Hurts tries to throw it upfield. Just look at Goddard. Like, Goddard might run for 10 years. Right? There's nobody there. But we take the shot that's just not there. And I mean, you can say like, well, Brown stopped running. Well, Brown thinks it's going back shoulder because he knows, like, look where this pass lands.
This is safety.
This safety is going to lay him out if he keeps running upfield for this. And so it's not that they don't take shots. It's that we take them at weird times. So now look at this one. You've got AJ Brown at the bottom of the screen. You've got a safety on the opposite hash. Watch this safety because we actually run other vertical threats here, sort of. I mean, it's curls, but Hurts is looking at this, and he comes off of it. This is when you throw the ball to A.J. Brown. We're one-on-one in the end zone, and we don't throw that one. We come off of it. Now, we hit a scramble drill play, and that's nice. Scramble drill is something we've talked about before. But so we've seen a throw to Brown vertical when you shouldn't. We've seen a turn down when you should have taken it. Now let's look at this one. They motion Saquon. And so again, you've got AJ Brown one-on-one with one-on-one with a backup rookie cornerback, safety on the opposite hash, and they just have him just like run here and turn around so we can throw this little whirly bird route to Saquon. Like, how are we not running a post route, a vertical route, a back shoulder to the pylon? Like, this is what you want for AJ Brown. And we throw that? It just doesn't make any sense, right?
Shane,
And
can
then
you just ignore AJ Brown on that play for a second and watch the other three receivers each run their routes individually? For the viewers that are watching, watch Dallas Goedert run an out. When I say they know they're not getting the ball, they don't run hard. None of them do. I'm not even blaming them. Yes, it was really hot, so we can maybe blame. This is the worst play call I've seen in a long time. But just watch Goddard. Like I'm not picking on the guy. At the end of the day, But I mean, like, firstly, it's covered incredibly easy. They're just not running plays hard. Like, I don't know what to say.
like, how are you not just like running up the seam here, and then that holds the safety, and now we've got AJ Brown 1-on-1 and run a post, run a corner, run whatever the heck you want that's not a curl route. I don't get it. And then we'll go to the last one here. This is going to be another throw to AJ Brown. It's going to be off of play action, right? We're going to get AJ Brown vertical. We get the crossing route. AJ Brown's double covered. The crosser's wide open, and we throw it to AJ Brown. And so it's like, look at this. You don't get more open than this in the NFL. And you don't get much more covered than this either. And so it's like when AJ Brown is double covered, we will throw the ball to him. And when he has the best matchup in the world, we're not going to do it. And it just doesn't make sense to me. So it's not that they're not throwing it vertically. It's that every time they do, they shouldn't. And every time they shouldn't, they do.
Yeah, and for those that instantly want to blame Hurts on those, I go back to this, that if he's being coached or told when AJ's in that one-on-one to throw it, he's not really getting to his backside read there at all. And another thing I was also at is I think he may have been concussed in the second half. And I don't buy into conspiracy theories, but he was really bad, Hurts, and he's been really good all year. And the other thing, Shane, can I be honest? Go back to that last play of AJ. I know Breda Clips just commented that would we say they're on Hurts? Yeah, they are Breda Clips. Anyone want to agree with me here? Maybe I'm talking nonsense. Is this a safe throw? Is this, do you know what? What's the score, Shane? 31-20. 2nd and 7. I could risk a throw into the middle of the field, or what have I been told every week by coaches, every game? Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. To me, this is like a fake aggressive throw. It's like, we're aggressive. We're going down the field to AJ Brown, but Hurts can throw a deep ball. He's got good accuracy. He's putting this as far to the sideline. It's almost like, well, he might catch it. But to me, just throwing the ball deep doesn't mean you're aggressive. Like, I think we can confuse the two sometimes. I actually think that's a bit of a conservative throw. And that maybe I'm wrong, and I might be looking at this too philosophically, but I think that's almost like a little bit of, let's throw it right near the sideline, and either our guy gets it or it goes out of bounds. I'm going to finish us off, Shane, because we're trying to be quicker these days because we've got so much stuff on the Patreon, and then we're moaning about the offense for half an hour again. You don't really need to show. I mean, you can show my plays if you want because you can run them in the background. I've got a couple of them tweeted. They're just the red zone plays. First one's play 3. I just think the Eagles in the red zone are unbelievable, and we've got to call out how good they are. I think they're 11 for 11 or something this year, aren't they, in red zone touchdowns?
Yep.
Like, that is incredibly good, and it's almost absurd that the coaching staff can be this bad in between the 20s and so good in the red zone. So they had this one, which is just really cool. We're taking advantage of the Bucs stacking the box. They obviously ran the fake, fake tush push later on, which I'm shocked they don't do more. And they had another really cool play. Go to the, sorry, Shane, right up. My favourite one is the only one I want to sort of break down is the counter read one. You're way past it. It was way earlier. The one where they flick it to Dallas Goedert, play 6, I think. This is just a really good design. So the Eagles, pause it again. Let me get my high horse again. Guess what happens when you run counter? You can then, what did I say? Build some stuff off of running counter. So what happens when you run gap scheme is you pull to offensive linemen, but you can also run like they do here. GT count. No, sorry, this is not GT counter, is it? You can run a GH, whatever you want to call it, but it's a tight end and the guard pulling. But this time, they fake counter read. So counter read is obviously where Hurts has the option to hand it to Barkley or keep it himself. It's different to QB counter bash. For those of you wondering, it's because in bash, the running back runs away from the offensive lineman pulling, whereas here, he actually follows the offensive lineman pulling. So it's more just like standard counter read. But then you flip it to Dallas Goedert on the inside, and it's just really clever. And I just think these are the easy buttons that we're on about. The red zone play calling is so effective. It's not just a tush push. They're incredibly effective in this game in other ways. So it's not all negative. It's really not. There is some very good stuff, but it's just, as I go back to that Ollie Connolly tweet, it's random plays. We're a dunk and a 3-point side. We don't achieve anything in rhythm. Plays are not tied together. There's no sequencing. It's one-off. It's talent rather than scheme, and it needs to change. And we need to shut up and give this defense some love, because we should have started with a defense, Shane. They deserve a lot more of our time this week.
They do.
From the offense.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I don't buy the Hurts concussion thing either. He got checked out, and maybe they just screwed that up, but I would imagine he's on an injury report this week if that was the case. So maybe that'll come out, but I can't evaluate a game and just say, well, he must have been concussed. I don't know.
No, and neither can I. And I hate that conspiracy stuff. And by the way, I think maybe I'm going too strong there. Concussed doesn't mean concussed. It could be just shaken up. Just didn't feel right. You could have a hit. Players go for injuries all the time. Receivers, cornerbacks might be slower, and we expect quarterbacks to be machines. It looked like something happened. It's very unusual for him to complete 0 passes in a half. Let's put it that way. It's very unusual for any quarterback to do that, Shane, because they're not starting quarterbacks if they do that. Let's be real. So that's sort of bizarre.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball then. And I'll lead us off on defense as well. And I want to talk about Quinyon Mitchell. Just to
oh my God,
peek behind the curtain. When I tweet my clips, I'm just tweeting things that look interesting to me as I watch the game. And I think the first 4 clips that I tweeted from the defense were all Quinyon Mitchell. And I didn't come into the film review thinking, oh, Quinyon Mitchell had the best game I've ever seen. I thought it was a good game. I didn't see him getting, I saw him with some pass breakups and things, but I watched the film. And it might be the best cornerback game I've ever watched. Quinyon Mitchell was unbelievable in this game. And so he did a lot of shadowing Emeka Egbuka, which I think is the real thing to talk about defensively, is how Vic Fangio's traveling Quinyon Mitchell a lot. He is running more cover 1 blitzes every single week, which maybe is about not trusting edge rushers. Maybe it's trusting his corners on a line, in man coverage without a lot of help. I don't know what it is, but the cover 1 man rate or cover 1 blitz rate is creeping up. The Eagles have been very effective running it, but Quinyon Mitchell is just unbelievable. So here he is at the top of the screen. He's going to be defending a curl in man coverage, and just look at this. You don't get better coverage than that. He's practically running the route for him. And I think Emeka Egbuka is special. I think he is a special wide receiver. And Quinyon Mitchell just shuts him out. Here we go, top of the screen. It's going to be an end breaker this time. And just watch the way that Quinyon handles this. So often, when you get this guy releasing inside and he's leaning out like that, you think he's going to end up breaking this out to the outside. And he snaps it off inside, and Quinyon's just there for the pass breakup. And now you get what's probably one of the toughest routes to defend in man coverage. It's the zig route at the bottom of the screen, because it looks like a slant, and then it breaks back outside. And watch Quinyon Mitchell handle this zig route by Emeka Egbuka. That's phenomenal. That's unbelievable. And it's not just in the pass game. Now he's going to get involved in run defense, and he's going to fly downhill, and he's going to make a tackle out on the perimeter. So many cornerbacks good in coverage can't tackle. Not Quinyon Mitchell. Shuts that run down out to the edge. And then he gets tested vertically. He's at the top of the screen here. This is a vertical route in the hip pocket the entire time. That's just phenomenal coverage. Phenomenal. Bottom of the screen, vertical. This one, he actually gets spun around off of the line. Watch him. And he spins and is right back in the hip pocket, and there's nothing there. So good in this game. And then he's going to be up at the top of the screen on another vertical route here. He gets his hands directly between the receiver's hands and punches that ball out. Quinyon Mitchell was unbelievable in this game. He was targeted 9 times. 8 of those 9 passes were into tight windows, which means the receiver had less than a yard of separation. He allowed 2 catches for 6 yards. He had 5 tackles, no missed tackles. 2 defensive stops, and he got his hands on 5 passes. Unbelievable game by Quinyon Mitchell. A++.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think one of the best I've ever seen. And the first couple of weeks, I think he struggled a little bit with being asked to travel. I think playing both sides of the field.
Yep.
This was like elite. I tweeted that the Eagles could have like 4 All-Pros on defense, and someone replied, it could be 5, it could be Campbell. And I'm like, let's see a bit more from Campbell yet. But Quinyon, Cooper, Bourne, and obviously Carter's not even played that well this year yet, is exceptional. Seeing as you did Quinyon Mitchell, and he deserved every shout out, I'm just going to go for the other guy. Like, Cooper DeJean this year has been unbelievable, Shane. Like, for a second-year player, second-round pick, I think when we drafted him, everyone knew he was like this great athlete, almost like this football player. Stick him anywhere. His instincts are absolutely off the charts. There are so many good plays on film this week. If we start with play 2, you don't even need to like pause this play, just run it through. He's just casually like sprinting down the field with Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson's used in motion to run a wheel, which is really hard to cover, and it's just easy. Like, he has to pick up the pace a little bit at the end because he realizes this guy's really quick, but there's no stress in the slightest. Then there's play 4, which is the most ridiculous rep of zone match you will basically see. He carries the vertical route until he gets to the safety, realizes that he no longer has to carry him anymore, turns around, gets busy, bang, jumps in front of it, nearly picks it off. Like, if he picks that off, it's an absurd play. And by the way, look at the Duke post-catch as well.
By the way,
when you're talking about an athlete. Yep.
Can we just point out that vertical guy is 100% still his guy? He just knows. Like, he knows there's 2 guys over the top of it. He's like, I can abandon my responsibility because I see this crossing route coming underneath me.
Yeah, I saw people debating this, and I'm like, even if, again, without knowing the assignment, it can be quite tough. But whatever happens, I think the way Fangio normally does it is I always think safety first. So he probably carries him very far anyway. And he just decides to come off it. But, like, it's so good. There are so many clips this week, Shane, that we could have showed. Coverage. I could have tweeted one. He had a rep where we played base, and he was outside cornerback covering Egbuka. And he just killed him on a curl route. Like, he just covered it with ease. And I'm like, oh my God, he can play outside cornerback. He can play nickel cornerback. I'm sure he'd be an elite safety. The leap he has made already, like, he was good as a rookie. He is already, I don't watch enough NFL other teams to know if he's the best, but I'd struggle to imagine there's a better nickel cornerback right now, because I think he is unbelievably good. And the fact they've got him and Quinyon last year, round 1 and round 2, it's going to change the Eagles secondary for a long, long time.
Yeah, shout out to the rest of the NFL for being stupid enough to let that happen.
Yeah, mad.
Can we just talk about the fact that the NFL flagged Jalix Hunt for an illegal blindside block on this play for this, hitting a receiver that's running directly at him in the shoulder? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Bad, I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah, maybe don't throw interceptions, and then you won't get blindside blocks anyway.
Yeah, there wasn't even a blindside block, but yeah. So.
Yep.
Okay. Was that all on Cooper DeJean? Did you have any more clips you wanted to show?
Up about him this year. Him and Quinyon combined, the Eagles are so lucky.
Yeah. All right. Well, my second point, I'm just doing players this week, is Jahad Campbell. And
yes, I noticed.
Yas said here that Campbell hasn't played well against the run yet, but will definitely get better. Coverage has been awesome except that one play. Campbell was good against the run in this game, I thought. So it's something I pointed out about Campbell early on, that he was really tentative in the run game. But I just want you to watch him here. And I just grabbed the one example, but there were more than one. But watch him in the run game. And if you remember the clips I showed from week 1 and 2, how he was tentative, watch him trigger downhill here. He sees the gap. We're there. We're able to get that guy. It's like, I thought on several occasions he looked more decisive coming downhill against the run, and he was more active in the run game, which is really good because that was his weakness, I thought. Okay, I got a second one here. So here he is again, just straight downhill into that gap. And then he ends up making the play when the guy cuts back. And so just running those two, he looks so much more decisive. And it's only 4 games in, and it's something I said that I thought he would get better at. And I think he has gotten better at it already. He's grown up right in front of us, and that's really good to see. But he also has some good plays in coverage this game. And let's talk about the long touchdown. And so I want you to just watch him here at the edge, and he's communicating pre-snap. He knows that this motion has changed things defensively, so that's a good sign. But watch his coverage on the running back. Like, this is good coverage, right? Now, the pass rush needs to get home, and you would like for him to do a better job here in the scramble drill. I mean, you would like that. But no linebacker is going to cover a running back for that long, especially without safety help. And this is one of the issues at times with pattern matching zone, is you end up with the potential for no safety help because this guy goes vertical. Cooper DeJean kind of has to key over on him. Whatever. I thought it was a good coverage rep. I hate that that is what people are going to talk about because the original coverage was good. The pass rush just has to be better.
The issue is that he gets his eyes back on the quarterback, doesn't he? That was the issue.
Yeah.
If you look when he's in coverage, if you look at like, not now, and then there he just sort of like, you see it, he in the minute he turns to the receiver, I mean, he's like, and Bucky, I think, does a really good job spotting that he's not looking at him.
Right. And so there's some things you can work on there, but I put like 85% of the blame for that one on the pass rush, not on Campbell. And then here's the interception. He's at the top of the screen. He's got good coverage on the tight end initially. So you watch him, plays physically, covers that, and now he gets eyes on the quarterback, and he just kind of follows him to the side, and he gets that interception. And so I thought Jihad Campbell played pretty well as well, but the thing I was most encouraged about was that I saw him be better against the run. And so that was my biggest takeaway, honestly, from Campbell. I've not doubted the coverage ever. It was the run defense, and I saw him take a step this week.
No. Yeah, and we won't get into it because we haven't got time, but the whole and the Kobe Dean coming back thing, I think Cam was going to play.
Yeah.
Like, I think Dean was really good last year. He's coming off a very, very serious injury. Campbell, I don't think mess with that. I think you could rotate the two occasionally, and you might try and get them in a little bit, but I can't continue to. He's clearly improving. Right, where are we going next?
Your call.
I wanted to talk about. Actually, do you know what? I might combine my two because they're very similar. I want to talk sort of pass rush and also stunts. So, I keep seeing metrics about the Eagles pass rush being really good. Like they pressured quarterback X on X amount of time, or the Baker Mayfield was under pressure this amount of time. When they played the Cowboys, Dak was under pressure this amount of time. Then I watch the games, I watch them back, and I see Fangio consistently blitzing 5. And it makes me think, I don't think the pass rush is as good as people think. I think Jalix Hunt has proven that maybe that playoff run was a little bit of a mirage for his overall performance, which is fine because he was never meant to be an amazing pass rusher his second year in the league, coming as a former safety. I think Josh Uche's played well, Darius Smith's played well, but I think Jalen Carter's obviously been disappointing compared to where he has been last year. I think he will get back there. But what saved the pass rush this week wasn't sending 5. It was their use of stunts. They wrecked the Bucs with stunts, man. By the way, if any of you subscribe to Brandon Fawn, who breaks down every single sack in the league, his top 32, he only has one Eagles defender in the top 32 in terms of high-quality sacks. Do you want to guess who that one is, Shane? And he's 29th in terms of high-quality sacks and pressures.
Is it Uche?
No.
Who is it?
Moro Ojomo. So when he's the only one in the top 32 and he's 29th, the pass rush isn't really firing, but the stunts wrecked them in this game. And I've got so many clips I could change. In fact, you might try to run through them quick. So play one is one of them where a stunt just works incredibly well. And this one's actually Carter coming free. But that makes it quite a rare one because normally Carter was not the one coming free. This is Jalen Carter coming around the stunt and winning. What normally happened. I think I'll give Carter a lot of credit in this game. He was very, very selfless. And there was a lot of snaps where he took attention away from the offensive lineman rather than him actually going after the QB instead. Towards the end of the game, it was so so frequent. Like it happened all the time. If you go to like play, I think it's 14 and 15 towards the end of the game, they both just show the same stunt back to back, and the Bucs just couldn't handle it. Like it was a really big theme of this game, and I think they obviously teach it really well because stunts aren't as easy as people think. Carter does such a good job here blowing off the ball. Look at where Carter ends up, Shane. He is never going after Baker. Look at where he ends up rushing on this play. He is following a very vertical stem. If anything, he's going laterally to the right. He's pushing that center and that left guard away. And although Carter hasn't been as good so far this year, he is still, the offense is still respecting him hugely. And it's really, really allowing them to succeed. And final one is play 15. And Vietnam Albal, whether they can win this way.
Jonny, are you still there?
It's a great question. I believe I am, but maybe I'm not.
Okay, I see you.
Am I here?
You are. You froze.
Was I not there for a second?
Yeah, you froze for a long time. I did not talk while you were frozen because I found that Riverside continues to record, and so it'll sound fine on the podcast, I think. But man, we got to get you off the McDonald's internet, Jonny. You know they shut down AOL dial-up recently.
Man. Listen, we've done this pod for 2 years, right? We've done this pod for 2 years, and I didn't crash once. We turned to Riverside. I crash weekly. The internet's not suddenly got worse. Riverside hates me. I don't know why.
We talk about the Eagles.
It's pretty obvious if it's
I was going to say, we talk about the Eagles offense only showing up for half of a game. Your internet only shows up for half of a podcast.
Shut up. It only ever does it ever on Riverside live shows. Join the Patreon. I can't lag any other stuff. Or on my Discord. Where did I get to? Did I speak about Jalen Carter's field, like running path? Did you see that?
Yeah, you can say it again. I think it'll be there when I go edit later, but say it again just in case. So let's watch it again.
Yeah, you can see it. It's I've watched this play about 8 times on repeat now. It's just that Jalen Carter, when he was rushing the quarterback on these stunts, wasn't actually actively trying to get after the quarterback. He was doing a fantastic job just taking a and I think he deserves credit for that.
All right. I still don't know what you said, but I'll catch it later on the podcast. I think I can guess. So you froze again, but yeah. I'm sure it'll be okay when we go edit it.
Oh my goodness! Right, I'm not talking anymore. I'm out. I'm not saying these wonderful points.
If you guys
bring us home because we're going too long again, Shane. We set a target, lads, for an hour because we do too much elsewhere from this, and we're still running incredibly close, even after saying we weren't going to. So bring us home.
Yeah, this is great Patreon advertising. It's like, hey, if you like this live show and you want to know what Jonny was saying there, go over to the Patreon where it will actually be there. So the Patreon will get a better audio video quality of this. It'll also go out on the podcast feed, the audio, but sometimes with the live show with Riverside and Johnny's McWi-Fi over there, we have some problems. But I'll bring us home here. I want to talk about Andrew Makuba. And this was not a good game for Andrew Makuba. He still had some good plays, and he had some bad plays, and so we can talk about him here. But this is Makuba right here on the hash, and this is going to be a fire zone blitz. So that is a rush 5, 3 deep, 3 underneath coverage. And the way fire zone works is, in a lot of ways, it's similar to man coverage. Your outside corners are basically one-on-one with anything vertical from the outside receiver. Your slot guys are basically one-on-one with the number 2s, as long as they don't run a shallow route. If they run a shallow route, they deliver it, and then they fall off and zone something else. And so Andrew Makuba is stepping down here, which means he's responsible for number 3. And so number 3 is right here. He's basically responsible for wherever number 3 goes. And number 3 is going to go to the flat, and Makuba's just lost. He doesn't follow him. Now, Baker doesn't throw it to him, but this is Makuba's guy. Like, you're getting pressure here, and he just seems like he doesn't know what he's supposed to do. And I'm not going to kill the guy for that. I did not mean to show the back view of this. But there's just some instances where he looked lost in this game. This is the touchdown. He's going to have a guy running directly at him here, vertically. Like, this is his guy. And for some reason, he just leaves him. And that's really bad. And then he misses the ball coming back. So that's a rough rep. It wasn't all rough reps. The next one I'll show here, I think he's got really good coverage here. This is Quinyon Mitchell in man coverage on a vertical route at the bottom. And Makuba is going to be the single high safety coming from outside the top hash, and just watch his range to get over here. Like, if that throw is there, he's going to be making a hit at the catch point. And so he's got good range. He's got some good instincts, but he also was just lost at times. This one also, Ringo pushes him here as they set this off. And I think he's just slow to recognize this, because that's not exactly the position that you want to be in as a cornerback right here. And this is a tough route, right? You're coming across the formation. Now the route's breaking back inside, and he gets beat. And okay, he gets beat, but he just kind of jogs afterwards. It's like he doesn't really even try to go catch up to the guy. And so I don't know if he's confused on that one. And then we get down to the final drive, and he's just going to get annihilated. He's got man coverage on the tight end here. And just watch this. Like, he is so beat for a first down. And it's just a bad throw and a drop. And I love that he gives the little signal there. Let him know. You let him know they dropped that one, I guess, because he gets the little incomplete. It reminds me of Jalen Mills a little bit with the finger wag.
Jalen Mills.
Yeah, so it was a rough game for Andrew Makuba. It wasn't all bad. And I saw some crazy things about, like, just play Sidney Brown, bring Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back. It's not that bad. He's a rookie in his 4th game. But he did have some pretty noticeable mistakes
it's his 4th
in this
game.
one. Yeah.
All
right.
I think sometimes you got to take your punches, and the defense is good enough to live with them for now. So I'd rather him learn on the spot than try and replace him with an aging vet. If he's doing it week 12, Shane, then I'm a bit more worried.
Yeah. A couple of great comments here. Brett Eclipse says that On the Shane page is doing their best impression of the Eagles' first half, second half performance this week. And then Yakko said, let's have Jonny repeat himself. And Johnny's internet service provider is
Shut
like,
up.
nope.
I'm basically on, like, Googling my broadband speed, which is absolutely fun. I'm going to just spend more on the fastest broadband the world's ever seen, just so I don't crash from this stupid podcast recording app. But anyway, hopefully it made it to the podcast. If not, screw it. Shane, the clock, we are 50 seconds away from the wonderful 1 hour mark. This Eagles offense did not deserve half an hour of chat. If they're that bad again this week, we're starting with the defense. All right, deal?
If they're that bad this week, we'll just do the whole show on the defense.
I can't talk about Cash anymore.
Yeah.
Just, they don't deserve it. Yeah, the way, again, if you're listening, why didn't we get into Ringo? It's because on the Patreon, Eagles Eric just did a 1 hour breakdown. So, you want to hear about Ringo? Yeah, we can't do everything. So that's why we divide it up throughout the week. Eric's stuff on Ringo is awesome because he's definitely biased because he loves him, so it's great. So his stuff is really, really good. It's a really good watch if you haven't seen it. It's really good.
Yeah, so be sure you go check that out. I intentionally stayed away from Ringo because Eric did a great breakdown. That's in our $7 a month tier, but you can grab a free 1 week trial of that tier. And you can check that and everything else out in our Patreon. You'll get Johnny's preview later this week. My full pass game review is up. Again, this podcast is sort of an abbreviated version of all of that for our public listeners here. But you can check that out at patreon.com/Eagles Film Room. Come hang out with us in Discord. Let us know what other features you want to see because we're constantly working on improving things, including improving Johnny's internet. Maybe we need a $10 a month tier for Johnny to get better internet. I don't know. But that is going to about do it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode of On the Shane Page. Whether you're a Patreon supporter, whether you're an OG back from Bleeding Green Nation, whatever it is, whether you just follow us on Twitter and just realized we had a podcast, I don't know. We certainly appreciate your guys' supports. All retweets, likes, 5-star ratings, all of that stuff is greatly appreciated. Please share the show with a friend. It helps us out a lot. We'll catch you guys next week for hopefully an offense and defense breakdown. But like Jonny said, if the offense is as bad against the Broncos, we're doing a full hour on the defense. So we'll see how that plays out. But we will catch you guys next week for another episode of On the Shane Page.